Hey guys, what's up? It's Iflin here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Corinth Prime. Whenever they announced that there was going to be a Corinth Prime with Titania Prime access, I couldn't help but be excited because the regular Corinth is like my most used weapon in the game at this point, just because like I love being able to fly through the air, point at an enemy, pull the trigger, and have the enemy die. Like, the regular Corinth is just that strong, so, you know, I was super excited for the Corinth Prime. Unfortunately, there isn't much difference in the damage dealing department whenever it comes to the Corinth Prime. We have a larger magazine size, but we also have a longer reload time because of that. And we also have this new burst fire mode as well. Well, not burst fire mode, but alt fire mode, where you shoot this like missile into the air and then you activate it again and then it's going to explode, opposed to the other Corinth, or the regular Corinth, where you just shot it and then it'll explode whenever it travels a certain distance, right? So this has slightly increased damage. It's still not worth using in my opinion. These are level 110 corrupted heavy gunners. They're paused. I've got a corrosive projection on, and this is a build that doesn't have a ribbon on, so it deals decent damage, but it's still going to take too much ammo, in my opinion, to be worth spamming. You'll be able to kill like lower level enemies with it pretty consistently, but whenever it comes to these higher level enemies and like the likes of Sentients or anything like that, it's too much ammo. It takes 4 per shot. Whenever you get a crit off, it deals a ton of damage, of course, but you know, you're hoping that it crits, and you know, it's pretty inconsistent in that regard, but it still deals alright damage, and you'll be able to use it to kill those lower level enemies. But let's go ahead and look at the changes specifically between the Corinth Prime and the regular Corinth. So the numbers that are on the right hand side are going to be the numbers of the regular Corinth, and then the ones that are on the left of these little arrows are the ones of the Corinth Prime, right? So you can see that we have a fire rate difference. The Corinth Prime has a fire rate of 1.42. You can definitely feel that compared to the regular Corinth 1.17. We've got 20 in a mag this time compared to the regular Corinth 5. We've got that reload speed of 3 compared to the 2.3 on the regular Corinth. Status per projectile, we've got 9% instead of 6%, so a slight buff there. We scroll on down, go to the air burst. We have a fire rate of 1.17 on the regular Corinth, and then a 0.6 on the Corinth Prime. We've got, again, the magazine is the same, right? So it doesn't change between the airburst mode and the regular fire, because, you know, only one magazine, you're not swapping modes. We've got the reload, again, the same, and we have a status chance of 50% on the airburst on the Corinth Prime and 28% on the regular Corinth. Then we have the bonus damage on the air blast mode, or whatever the hell you want to call it. 2,200 blast damage compared to 404 with a slightly higher range. So yeah, it's not that big of a difference. It's like a quality of life upgrade, sort of, kind of, maybe. Depends what you're looking for in a shotgun. I quite liked having the slightly faster reload. The larger magazine size is going to be great whenever I am flying through the air or wanting to get a mission done quickly, or maybe wanting to just like deal a decent amount of damage into one enemy in particular. But there's not many enemies in the game that are going to require 20 shots from the Corinth to take down, if you catch my drift, right? Until they start making like higher level, harder content, that's not going to be needed, because like 1 or 2 shots from the regular Corinth are going to be good. So don't stress too much about going out of your way to get the Corinth Prime if you already have the regular Corinth, because, you know, you're just getting like a sustained DPS upgrade, I would say, like being able to dump more damage into one target. But because of the state that the game is in right now, there's really no need for that. So let's go ahead and talk about the builds that I threw on this thing. I've got 4 Forma on it, and the reason that I have 4 Forma on this is because I do have a Riven. So you might not need to invest 4 Forma depending on the build that you're going for, but I did invest 4 Forma. But this is the build that I'm going to be using that has no Riven on it. So we've got Prime Point Blank for damage, Hell's Chamber for multi-shot, Blunderbuss for crit chance, Prime Ravage for critical damage. We've got Prime Charge Shell for electricity and Contagious Spread to make corrosive, Incendiary Coat for heat, and then Blaze for a little bit more damage and a little bit more heat damage as well. So this would be the build that I would go for if I didn't have a Riven. I know in the past a few people recommended throwing Hunt Munitions on, but just from a little bit of testing here, I didn't find I was proccing those slash procs consistently enough to actually warrant using Hunt Munitions. Maybe I just got really unlucky with my testing, and you can proc slash procs more consistently with it, and you know, if you really wanted to, you can still throw it on. It's down to you, it's your build, but I just preferred having that little bit extra heat damage on there to sort of like guarantee a one shot, right? So let's go ahead and spawn in. Well, they're already spawned in. Are they full health? They're not full health. Let's spawn in more level 110 corrupted heavy gunners. Again, these are going to be the highest level enemies that you're going to come across in the star charts. So there's really no need to go higher. If you're seeing any enemies that are like higher level than you're playing something like an endurance run or something like that, and in that case, you probably have like a specific weapon setup to be going for anyway. They are paused, so I'm not getting any stealth multiplier from this weapon in particular. You usually only get stealth bonuses from melee weapons and stuff like that in the simulacrum. But here we go. So I'm going to be aiming for mainly headshots because, of course, headshots deal the most damage. And you're going to be getting consistently like 2-shot kills or 3-shot kills. It really depends. So have a fire proc on there, which might throw you off. But it still deals a ton of damage either way. Here's the long reload. There's the headshots. And you can see that we can just keep on going and going and going because of this higher magazine size again. Because we didn't hit a headshot there. That was a 3-shot kill. So it's very important that you are hitting those headshots. I myself, like, I'm pretty good at aiming while I'm flying through the air in this game. So that's not really a big deal to me. And even then, like these level 110 enemies, you're only going to be coming up against them whenever you're doing the likes of sorties or something, for example, or there's an event that has some sort of scaling mechanic to it. The Corinth is really good at taking down sentients. It's really good at taking down nullifiers. Pretty much any enemy in the game, the Corinth will be able to deal with in just a matter of like 1 or 2 shots. So that was with no Riven. The Riven that I have for this is pretty nutty. So the disposition is a free disposition. It's got 162.8% damage, 121.5% puncture. I know that I could get like a better stat on there, like maybe toxin damage or something like that, but I took what I could get. I've got 101.4% multi-shot as well for minus 33% damage to corpus. I don't really care that much about the minus 33% damage to corpus because this still one-shots, so doesn't really matter too much to me. If I were to go for like an even better Riven, I would probably want to either plus critical chance or plus critical damage in place of that puncture stat, or you know, an element, for example. That would be cool as well. But this build is more or less the same. The only thing that I have swapped out was that last elemental mod, so the incendiary coat, I haven't got that there on, and instead I just settled for having Blaze on instead. And you'll notice that this here thing deals way more damage compared to this here one. So we had 745.9 in the corrosive stat on the no Riven build, and then on the Riven build I have 1100.9 on this one. The puncture stat 390.6, and then compare that to 122.8. So this here one is going to deal a considerable, I don't know where I was going with that one. It's going to deal a lot more damage, right? So let's spawn in these guys. Jump over to them. Dead. 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 Not dead. Dead. Die. Okay, don't. Dead. 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 Reload. Dead. Dead. Warframe. There you go. Riven. Get one. Get one. It makes it even more insane and a ton more fun to play around with, just because, like, it's so satisfying one-shotting everything in the game. Like, I could make those guys a level 165. Chances are, I would still maybe one-shot them, or worst case scenario, two-shot them. So let's see. One shot, please. Two-shot then. Okay, two-shot. 2-shot kill, level 165. Oh, there's a one-shot. Just got unlucky with the first guy, I guess, and these guys. Boom. Boom. Dude, I'm having fun just doing this. Screw endgame content. Just give me a Corinth Prime and line up all the bad guys. Easy. I don't know, dude. You can't help but be satisfied just dropping these guys with this weapon. It's crazy. It's a great weapon. But yeah, that's that build. Like I said, some people recommend throwing 100 munitions on. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and test it out, and you'll see for yourself that you don't really proc this like a ton of slash procs consistently. We have 4 on that guy, 8 on that guy, so that one worked out. 7 on that guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are procking consistently. Yeah, maybe I just got really unlucky with my testing before this video. Yeah, that's doing all right. So if you want to just use one shot and then let the slash procs do the work, that's totally fine as well. I don't know, like before I made this, maybe it was because I was just standing at a particular distance that I wasn't hitting all of my pellets. And now that I'm up close, I'm getting more consistent slash procs. So that seems to be working fine. So if you wanted to run 100 munitions, you definitely could. I'll go back and I'll show the builds. Just for good measure, so you don't have to rewind and find a singular frame that I showed the build off in. But yeah, that seems to be working just fine as well. The thing is, like, that wouldn't work as well versus Kuva Liches. If you want to do Kuva Liches, I would recommend using the first build that I showed you, where it's just like straight up raw damage thrown on. So this here is the build here with your 100 munitions. So keep in mind that you can proc status effects on Kuva Liches. It's just, it's to a lot lesser degree. So they're not going to be as effective as, you know, shooting a heavy gunner or a bombard or something like that. So those would be the 3 builds that I'd recommend. If you're going for a Riven, try to get a damage stat, try to get a multi-shot stat, and then go for critical chance, critical damage, an element, and then, you know, probably the worst stat you can go for is maybe, the worst best stat would maybe be puncture or reload speed or something like that. And then for your negative, go for negative damage to corpus. If you're going to go for a 100 munitions build, then minus status duration is bad on a Riven. But if you're not bothered, then you can go for a minus status duration. The thing is, then you have a smaller window for your follow-up shot if you were sort of like trying to deal a lot of damage to one particular enemy, because your corrosive stacks would diminish a lot quicker. Right? So, you know, with the status changes, it makes it so that it's more important to have multiple of one status effect on. So if your negative to status duration is a very, very large number, probably wouldn't go for it. But if it's a low number, like maybe 20, 30%, that might be all right. But the worse the negative, so the higher the negative stat on your Riven, the higher the positive stats are going to be. So it's finding that fine line between good and bad whenever it comes to rolling your Corinth Riven. But yeah, the Corinth is one of my favorite weapons, and for good reasons. I don't know, it's just an insane gun. Like, it just drops people. I'm probably going to stick to this build because, you know, I just want to one-shot people. I just want to one-shot my Kuva Lich as well. And like I said, your slash procs aren't going to be as effective on Kuva Liches. They can help out a little bit, but, you know, I don't know. It's just not that effective. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Corinth Prime, probably going to use this weapon a ton whenever it comes to playing Warframe. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit the like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which is probably going to be about the Pangolin Prime, which has your standard melee build on it. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.